You don't always realize the moment you're leaving a mark on someone's life. It's rarely loud. It's not written in job descriptions or performance reviews. It happens in the pauses, in how you listen, how you encourage, how you lead with your humanity. And then one day, they leave your team. You're proud. You're happy for them. But deep down, you're left with a quiet question. Did I make the kind of difference that will ripple out beyond this goodbye? Welcome back to The Courageous Exchange. I'm Deb Carvel, and this is where we talk about leadership, growth, and the courage it takes to create ripples that last long after the work is done. A few years ago, I hired someone extraordinary. On paper, she was a dream hire, but that wasn't what convinced me. It was her presence, her creativity, emotional intelligence, and this remarkable ability to read a room and respond with care. What I didn't know at the time was that she had another offer on the table, one with different opportunities and a bigger paycheck, but she turned it down, and later she told me why. It wasn't the role that sold me, she said. It was you. The way you showed up in the interview with warmth and authenticity, I felt like I could bring all of me to this team. I wanted the chance to work for a leader like that. Hearing those words stopped me. I felt this wave of gratitude wash over me, not just for her trust, but for the reminder that how we show up matters, even in spaces as structured and transactional as an interview. I'll admit, I was a little surprised too, surprised that she had seen me so clearly, even through a screen. It made me realize that authenticity doesn't need a perfect setting or face-to-face connection to land. It simply needs presence. Neuroscience tells us that our brains are wired to scan for safety and belonging. Amy Edmondson's work on psychological safety shows that readers set the tone for how safe people feel to contribute, innovate, and even fail. When we show up authentically, we give others permission to do the same. Our mirror neurons, those tiny brain cells responsible for empathy and social connection, they pick up on tone, facial expressions, even micro moments of kindness. As leaders, how we are shapes how others feel. Fast forward. She's leaving the organization, and on her way out, she said, "You are the most compassionate and empathetic leader I've worked with. You created space for me to grow and turned potential into impact." Those words gave me pause. And I felt two things at once, pride and a deep ache. Pride because she saw in herself what I'd always seen. And the ache, it was the realization that this was one of those moments where leadership asks us to let go. We talk so often about retention, about keeping people, but maybe part of leadership is releasing them with grace, trusting that your influence doesn't end when they walk out the door. It travels with them in how they lead others, in the courage they bring into their next chapter. I saw this ripple once in an unexpected place. Years ago, during my time with the OPP Auxiliary, I met a young recruit who was nervous about stepping into a leadership role at a community event. I offered her a few words of encouragement and shared what I'd learned about leading with presence, not perfection. And years later, she sent me a note. "You probably don't even remember, but you changed how I saw myself. I lead my team now the same way you led us that night. Calm, compassionate, focused on people first." That moment reminded me we don't always see the ripples we create, but they're here, sometimes quiet, sometimes life-changing. When someone remarkable leaves, it's natural to feel the gap. The big shoes, the relationships, the brilliance they brought. But what if their departure isn't just a loss? What if it's proof you've done your job? This aligns with legacy leadership, the idea that great leadership is measured not by what we do in the moment, but what endures after us. Organizational psychology studies show that leaders who invest in their people create ripple effects long after they're gone. Teams continue to show higher resilience, stronger collaboration, and even better problem solving. So maybe when someone leaves more confident, capable, and ready for their next chapter, it's not the end. It's a reflection of courageous leadership at its best. But how do you fill the space they leave behind? Here's the truth. You don't. And you're not supposed to. Every new team member brings their own story, their own strengths and style. Leadership isn't about cloning success. It's about creating ecosystems that adapt and thrive as players change. So ask yourself, what made them thrive here? What part of that was them? What part of that was the culture we built? And how can we carry forward their lessons, not as a copy, but as a legacy? This is systems thinking in leadership, seeing your team as a living network, not just as a collection of roles. When we nurture the system, we set everyone up for success. This week, I want to offer you a journaling practice. Start with this question. When someone leaves my team, what do I hope they carry forward? And then go deeper. What habits or ways of being am I modeling right now that shape that answer? And what small shift could I make today to align even more with the legacy I want to leave? And finally, consider this. What if leadership success isn't about who stays, but about who grows because of you? Neuroscience reminds us our brains are shaped by experience. The trust and belief you instill in others becomes part of their neural wiring, helping them carry forward the best of what they've learned from you. This is the work of courageous leadership, not clinging to talent, but nurturing it, celebrating it, and letting your impact echo far beyond goodbye. Thanks for listening to The Courageous Exchange. If this resonated, share it with a leader navigating change or someone who needs a reminder of the ripples they're creating. And as always, stay courageous.